Welcome to another edition of Friday Folk and Fairy Tales, an adult story time. My name is Jean, and today I'll be sharing with you one tale, but several tales in one tale. And we're sharing these fairy tales because fairy tales are more than true, not because they tell us that dragons exist, but because they tell us that dragons can be beaten. That's Neil Gaiman. These spoken fairy tales are selected for an adult audience, so please use discretion when sharing with younger viewers. Today's tales come from the 16th century and probably stemmed from before that time, the merry tales of the Mad-men of Gotham, which we know as Gotham. They're a series of stories that came out of a legend that the residents of Gottam near Nottingham, England, were trying to avoid the king from either building a road through their town or setting up a residence there. There's a few different backstories. But in order to prevent this from happening, they all pretended to be crazy. Because at the time, people thought that craziness was contagious. So this is a series of fun tales, very silly, that I thought I would share with you today. The first tale. There was two men of Gottam, and the one of them was going to the market to Nottingham to buy sheep, and the other came from the market. And both met together upon Nottingham Bridge. Well met, said the one to the other. Whither be ye going? Said he that came from Nottingham. Marry, said he that was going thither, I go to the market to buy sheep. Buy sheep, said the other, and which way wilt thou bring them home? Marry, said the other, I will bring them over this bridge. By Robin Hood, said he that came from Nottingham, but thou shalt not. By Maid Marian, said he that was going thitherward, but I will. Thou shalt not, said the one. I will, said the other. Let here, said ye one. Shew there, said the other. Then they beat their states against the ground, one against the other, as there had been 100 sheep betwixt them. Hold in, said the one. Beware by leaping over the bridge of my sheep. I care not, said the other. They shall not come this way, said the one. But they shall, said the other. Then, said the other, and if that thou make much to do, I will put my finger in thy mouth. As thou wilt, said the other. And as they were at their contention, another man of Gottam came from the market with a sack of meal upon a horse, and seeing and hearing his neighbours at strife for sheep, and none betwixt them, said, Ah, fools, will ye never learn wit? Help me, said he that had the meal, and lay my sack upon my shoulder. They did so, and he went to the one side of the bridge, and unloosed the mouth of the sack, and did shake out all his meal into the river. Now, neighbours, said the man, how much meal is there in my sack now? Marry, there is none at all, said they. Now, by my faith, said he, even as much wit is in your two heads to strive for that thing you have not. Which was the wisest of all these three persons, judge you? The second tale. There was a man of Gottam did ride to the market with 2 bushels of wheat, and because his horse should not bear heavy, he carried his corn upon his own neck, and did ride upon his horse, because his horse should not carry too heavy a burden. Judge you which was the wisest, his horse or himself. The third tale. On a time, the men of Gottam would have pinned in the cuckoo, whereby she should sing all the year, And in the midst of ye town they made a hedge round in compass. And they had a cuckoo, and had put her into it, and said, Sing here all the year, and thou shalt lack neither meat nor drink. The cuckoo, as soon as she perceived herself encompassed within the hedge, flew away. A vengeance on her, said they. We made not our hedge high enough. The fourth tale. There was a man of Gottam, the which went to the market of Nottingham to sell cheese. And as he was going down the hill to Nottingham Bridge, one of his cheeses did fall out of his wallet, and ran down the hill. A whoreson, said the fellow, can you run to the market alone? I will send the one after the other of you. Then he laid down his wallet, and took the cheeses, and did tumble them down the hill, one after another. And some ran into one bush, and some into another. And at last he said, I charge you all, meet me in the marketplace. And when the fellow came to the marketplace to meet his cheeses, he stayed there, till the market was almost done. Then he went about, and did inquire of his neighbors, and of other men, if they did see his cheeses come to the market. Who should bring them? Said one of the market men. Marry, themselves, said the fellow. They knew the way well enough. He said, A vengeance on them all. I did fear to see my cheeses run so fast that they would run beyond the market. I am now fully persuaded that they be now almost at York, whereupon he forthwith hired a horse to ride after to York to seek his cheeses where they were not. But to this day no man could tell him of his cheeses. The fifth tale. There was a man of Gottam who bought at Nottingham a trivet or a brandy iron, and as he was going home, his shoulders grew sore with the carriage thereof. And he set it down, and seeing that it had 3 feet, said, A whoreson, hast thou 3 feet, and I but 2? Thou shalt bear me home, if thou wilt. And so set it down on the ground, and sat himself down thereupon, and said to the trivet, Bear me as long as I have borne thee. For if thou do not, thou shalt stand still for me. The man of Gottam did see that his trivet would not go further. Stand still, said he, in the mare's name, and follow me if thou wilt. I will tell thee the right way to my home. When he did come to his home, his wife said, Where is my trivet? The man said, He hath 3 legs, and I have but 2, and I did teach him the way to my house. Let him come home if he will. Where left ye the trivet? Said the wife. At Gottam Hill, said the man. His wife did run and fetch home the trivet her own self, or else she had lost it through her husband's wit. The sixth tale. There dwelt a smith at Gottam, who had a wasp's nest in the straw in the end of his forge. There did come one of his neighbors to have his horse shoed, and the wasps were so busy that the fellow was stung with a wasp. He, being angry, said, Art thou worthy to keep a forge, or no, to have men stung here with wasps? O neighbor, said the smith, be content. I will put them from this nest by and by. Immediately he took a coulter and heated it in his forge glowing hot, and he thrust it into the straw in the end of the forge, and so he set his forge afire and burnt it up. Then said the smith, And I told thee I would fire them forth of their nest. The seventh tale. When that Good Friday was come, the men of Gottam did cast their heads together what to do with their white herring, their red herring, their sprats, and salt fish. One consulted with the other, and agreed that such fish should be cast into their pond or pool, the which was in the middle of the town, that it might increase against the next year. And every man that had any fish left did cast them into the pool. The one said, I have thus many white herrings. Another said, I have thus many sprats. Another said, I have thus many red herrings. And the other said, I have thus many salt fishes. Let all go together into the pool or pond, and we shall fare like lords ye next Lent. At the beginning of the next Lent following, the men did draw the pond to have their fish, and there was nothing but a great eel. Ah, said they all, mischief on this eel, for he hath eat up all our fish. What shall we do with him? Said the other to the other. Kill him, said the one of them. Chop him all to pieces, said another. Nay, not so, said the other. Let us drown him. Be it so, said all. They went to another pool or pond nearby, and did cast in the eel into the water. Lie there, said they, and shift for thyself, for no help thou shalt have of us, and there they left the eel to be drowned. The 8th tale. On a time, the men of Gottam had forgotten to pay their rent to their landlord. The one said to the other, Tomorrow is our payday, and what remedy shall we find to send our money to our lord? The one said, This day I have taken a quick hare, and he shall carry it, for he is light on foot. Be it so, said all. He shall have a letter and a purse to put in our money, and we shall direct him the ready way. And when the letters were written and the money put in a purse, they did tie them about the hare's neck, saying, First thou must go to Loughborough, and then to Leicester, and at Newark there is our Lord, and commend us to him, and there is his duty. The hare, as soon as he was out of their hands, he did run a clean contrary way. Some cried to him, saying, Thou must go to Loughborough first. Some said, Let the hare alone, he can tell a nearer way. When the best of us all do, let him go. Another said, It is a subtle hare, let her alone. She will not keep the highway for fear of dogs. The 9th tale. On a time there was one of Gottam was a mowing in the meads, and found a great grasshopper. He cast down his scythe, and did run home to his neighbors, and said, that there was a divil in the field that hopped in the grass. Then there was every man ready with clubs and staves, with halberts and other weapons, to go and kill the grasshopper. When they did come to the place where the grasshopper should be, said the one to the other, Let every man cross himself from the divil, or we will not meddle with him. And so they returned again, and said, We were well blessed this day that we went no further. Ah, cowards, said he that had the scythe in the mead, help me to fetch my scythe. No, said they, it is good to sleep in a whole skin. Better it is to lose thy scythe than to mar us all. The 10th tale. On a certain time, there were 12 men of Gotham. What did go a-fishing? And some did wade in the water, and some stood upon dry land. And that they went homeward, one said to the other, We have ventured wonderful hard this day in wading. I pray God that none of us that did come from home be drowned. Marry, said the one to the other, let us see that, for there did 12 of us come out, and they told themselves, and every man did tell 11. And the 12th man did never tell himself. Alas, said the one to the other, there is one of us drowned. They went back to the brook where they had been fishing, and sought up and down for him that was drowned, and did make great lamentation. A courtier did come riding by, and he did ask what it was they did seek, and why they were so sorry. Oh, said they, this day we went to fish in this brook, and there did come out 12 of us, and one is drowned. Why, said the courtier, tell how many be of you? And the one told 11, and he did not tell himself. Well, said the courtier, what will you give me? And I will find out 12 men. Sir, said they, all the money that we have. Give me the money, said the courtier, and he began with the first, and did give him a recompendibus over the shoulders that he groaned, and said, there is one. So he served all that they groaned on the matter. When he did come to the last, he paid him a good blow, saying, here is the 12th man. God's blessing on your heart, said all the company, that you have found our neighbor. The 11th tale. There was a man of Gottam that did ride upon the highway, and there he found a cheese. And he pulled out his sword, and poured and pricked with the point of his sword, to take up the cheese. There did come another man by, and did alight, and took up the cheese, and did ride his way with it. The man of Gottam did ride back to Nottingham to buy a long sword to take up the cheese, and when he had bought his sword, he returned back, and when he did not come to the place where the cheese did lie, he pulled out his sword, and pricked the ground, saying, a murrain take it! If I had had this sword, I had had the cheese myself, and now another hath got it. Thank you for joining me today for these tales. If you enjoyed these tales, there are more. You can find them online through Google Books, and you can see the citation here. I hope that you will join us again next Friday for more folk and fairy tales. Have a wonderful weekend.